Hi, and welcome to It's Shannon J and Family. Is it recording? Hi, you guys, and welcome to It's Shannon J and Family. Today, we want to just bring you a few things we wish we knew going on our first cruise.
Yes, we went on our cruise last Thanksgiving. It was a family cruise, and
Great
it was
time,
fun time. And it was also Eric and I's first cruise ever. So yeah, it was fun. It was interesting, and it is definitely quite different than just your regular vacation. So we've spoken since then, and there were some things that came up that we were just like, oh, if we had known this, we would have done a little bit more research here.
The cruise rookies.
Yes, there.
We know folks have been on like
Hundreds.
a dozen cruises.
A lot,
That was our first cruise.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of things we wish we knew. So,
yeah.
Of course, the link to the actual cruise is in the comments
Or
the eye in the sky
yes.
Babe, you know what? Babe handles all this. I don't know where it's gonna be, but you will have that information. All right.
Yes.
So let's get started.
I think one thing that I felt initially was responsible for determining which excursions we wanted was that there were so many. And while, sometimes too much could be, overwhelming, but the key thing that we took from that is determining how much time you want to spend on a particular excursion versus like the cruise. So one thing you mentioned was how many days you're going to be on sea or at sea, and how many days you're going to be on land. So based on that, what do you want to do at the destination? If you want to get out and really spend time in the actual area with the people, or shop more or explore more, you would really need to research which excursions are for that, because for us, we were kind of tethered to a group of other people who picked that same excursion. We had to ride with them, we had to leave with them, we had to go to the same, and while that's fine, we really thought we were going to be able to do a little bit more.
Right. So they prepared a meal for us on the beach.
Yes, they did, which was great.
They were very hospitable on the beach,
yes.
And we had fun, and they took us to one kind of like gift shop to go
yes,
shopping.
like a gift shop.
As far as time, the overall time at the beach and the length of that excursion was only a couple of hours.
Yes.
So I guess what we're saying is we really wanted to explore a little bit more. So we should have done more research on the front end and figured out which excursion would have been best for us to do that.
Right.
But additionally, the cruise itself was only docked for like a day or half a day. You really had a tight window for when you could leave and get back to the boat on time. So that was one of the things that was a little bit disappointing. Again, a lot of it on us for not doing the research, but knowing what your cruise offers in terms of just really enjoying the destination.
Right. And also note that even though you can pick your excursions before the cruise, they do say on the website for the most part that it is at a discounted rate. However, once we were there, because I didn't do that, they offer discount rates if you purchase it online or purchase it on the ship as well. So, don't feel like, oh, I didn't get the best rate or I waited too late to get an excursion, because you can still do it on the ship. Yeah.
One thing you really have to know is how long you're comfortable being at sea.
Yeah.
For me, that was like one of the best parts of the cruise, was just waking up in the morning, sitting on deck and just looking at the vastness and beauty of the ocean.
Yes.
But I can understand for some people, day in and day out, water and nothingness could be their take on it. So just know if you're going on a cruise, if you're 2 and 3 days at sea, that might be a bit much for you, even if there's a lot to do on the boat, on the ship.
Right. And speaking in terms of being on the ship, one thing you want to research, we found out on the ship, is what your particular ship offers. So in terms of ironing boards, steamers, laundry service, hair dryers, things of that nature. Every ship does not offer it. But coincidentally, our ship did not offer irons. They had a laundry room that you could go and wash your clothes and iron your clothes, but then there was a line, you know, that you had to kind of wait, and so everybody would try to bring like all of their outfits or a few and iron one at a time. So, you know, that was a little...
And so some things we had planned and organized, some of the dinners were casual formal.
Casual formal, yeah.
So what we had to do later days on the trip is just find off hours. So while people were at breakfast, or people were actually going on some of the excursions or doing things that, you know.
Or late at night.
Yeah, late at night. We would actually a few times have to go in there and just iron for the next day.
Right.
Or, you know, just kind of with some things. I said, yeah, this will work.
Right.
But yes, but we discovered later that some of the other boats you were allowed to bring irons on, or had we known ahead of time, we would have brought a small steamer, so we could just handle that in our own room.
And speaking of clothes, one thing that my neighbor did say right before we left, I spoke with her and told her what was happening. Reduce what you've packed by half, because you're not going to wear all of it. And I found that I thought I was taking a little bit anyway, but once I got there, I didn't wear half of the clothes, simply because, you know, if you're going on a cruise to relax, to get away, a lot of what you're going to be doing is so informal. You're sitting out on the boat, laying out in front of the sun, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise. You really just want to put on something comfortable. You're probably going to wear flip-flops, you know what I mean? So really packing a lot, you're gonna don't overthink it. You know, maybe have one formal outfit or you know what I mean, one pair of formal shoes, or even having like 2 pair of pants and 4 shirts that you can kind of, you know, mix up with that. Do something like that versus like if it's a 5-day cruise, which is what we did, having like 5 outfits, you know, for the night, and then 5 daytime outfits, and then that's too much. It's too much. And a lot of times if you're not doing that much, or if you are in the room often, you might put the same thing on the next day. I mean, that is totally okay, because you're not doing that much. So a lot of things could just be reworn. So pack light.
Another thing that I think for our trip that went very well, just make sure you know the culture and the tone of the trip. So our trip was great because it accommodated the kids, my nephews, and my niece well. So it was more of a family trip. There were aspects of it that were more formal dining, the captain's dinner that we didn't even take part in. We were just kind of doing the family thing. But just make sure you know that ahead of time, so that you don't find yourself in a situation where, oh, I thought it would be a little more this or a little more that. A lot of the shows span from being, you know, PG to more adult, so there was versatility there for us to kind of enjoy it, with it just being us as a couple, and not necessarily the whole family thing with our nieces and nephews. So culture was good, but make sure you research that ahead of time.
And different ships just offer different levels of dining. You know, on our ship we had dining, but it was more also like burgers and fries and fajitas and Mexican, which is fine, but that's general type food. But if you're trying to be a little bit more romantic, I guess, or what have you, again, it goes back to what we said earlier, researching what ship you're on. We've heard like Norwegian ships are just a little bit more fancy, if that's what you're looking for.
You think because we food snobs? Because they tried at the dinner, the first dinner.
Yeah, you know, the first dinner was really good.
But they tried.
They did try.
Is this the same as last night?
Yeah.
It was good, you guys. We might be graduating to food snob. But I think that's something you gotta kind of make sure you're aware of.
I agree.
Another thing, you know, not to derail the conversation, and this is something we knew going in, but it's worth saying, is be aware of how much you're gonna eat. Because we're paying the price now. So if you want to know how we're paying the price now, you can check out Wifey's main channel to see us losing a lot of the weight that we gained on the cruise. Not just from the cruise. I mean, that whole span of time, because we went on the cruise around November, right? So if you think about it, you know, October, the holidays start to happen. November, we went on a cruise. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and now we're here trying to repair the damage.
Right.
So if you want to see that journey, you can check out her channel.
Yes.
But I blame the cruise for a lot of
It's good. You know, again, we talk about class, but that we still ate. It was still really good.
Guy Fieri's burgers.
Yes.
We would just like, you hungry? You want some burgers
and
fries?
Oh, and those fries were
great.
So good.
Breakfast was great.
Yes,
I mean, it was of course it's like a buffet style.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of eat your fill.
Yeah.
But they have like, you know, specialty dinners that we mentioned before. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And just so you know, we were on the Carnival cruise. The Sensation was the name of our ship, and then we found out that the Sensation is actually one of the, or if not the oldest ship.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. So again, that goes back to what we were saying about research your ship to determine just the level of experience that you are looking for. All right, you guys, so lastly, we just want to mention that if you are a vlogger or even just photos for the family that you'd like to share on like your Facebook, you want to real time type stuff, exactly. I believe most ships offer Wi-Fi connectivity. Now, just so that you know, it is advisable to get the Wi-Fi in advance because that is definitely less if you pre-purchase it versus on the ship. But you also need to know that there are packages. So do you want limited, you know, availability if you just want to be able to post to social media websites versus do you want to be able to check your emails along with posts to social media websites? And then also if you would like to be able to see video, then that's like package 3. So we also purchased YouTube Red, which allowed us to stream video because Netflix and such Hulu is not available.
It was not on that particular ship. We can't speak to any other ship.
Right, on that ship.
It was not
so
available.
Be sure if you want to, you know, if you're spending downtime in the room and you say, oh, I can watch my Netflix account because you're already paying for it, it's not going to be available. Mainly because what I've read is the bandwidth. It is a lot. So when you talk about, you know, thousands of people being on a ship, that's just too much to offer. But they will give you like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
And they have their own internal Wi-Fi, so we can kind of keep track of all the events and all of the social gatherings, and then we could add people into our group so we can kind of track them on the ship. So we were texting like Bro and Sis. Yeah, intranet, texting Bro and Sis, be like, where are you? And they'd be like, we're on deck, whatever. Which reminds me, you guys, this woman is supposed to know the Golden Girls, right? So we went to Golden Girls trivia and she lost. She lost.
It wasn't a win-lose. It was how many.
Did you come in first place? Yes or no?
No.
She lost. Okay, and she's supposed to love the Golden Girls.
I do love the Golden Girls. Some questions were just like, oh, if you want to be technical. Anyway, yes, I love the Golden Girls. I am the Golden Girls fan, okay? Whatever. That was fun though. They had that, and then they also had like a Fresh Prince one.
Yeah, they had a lot of trivia. With a
karaoke.
Lot of things, but to your point, you know, you could look at any time and see what's going on at any deck. You know, they had nightclubs, they had karaoke. You guys saw the karaoke.
Yeah. And if you didn't, check it out. You know, in terms of spending, you will have to charge everything to your key card. So it's not no, you can even pay by cash.
Yeah, no, everything's on
everything is on in a card that you sign up for and designate a card for. And you know,
and it settles up when you go back to land.
Right. And make sure you double check like gratuity and that you're not getting gratuity billed to you twice via like each purchase versus at the end, because they do that as well. So definitely make sure about that. But yeah, I mean, they make it really seamless. It was really a really good experience.
A good first time.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms
it's not like we went on a cruise and we don't want to go on any other cruise. We think that was a good starter cruise,
for sure.
And we would like to try another one.
For sure.
To Wifey's point, maybe a bit more adult and a bit more, I don't want to use the word lavish, but just we want to be pampered a little bit more.
Yeah. If you are flying in or driving in, like flying in and renting a car, or driving in, you know, parking, but you do need to know that you will be paying per day.
Right, it's like an
for your
airport
parking.
terminal.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was really good. And then also, passport is really, like he said, you walk in, you get scanned, they check your passport. If you don't have a passport, that's fine. You can take your birth certificate, to show your citizenship. But, if you have a passport, that's fine. Children, it could be birth certificate driven. So you don't have to have it, but I do believe if you are over a certain age, I don't know what that is, you do need to have it. If something happened while you were at sea and you needed to fly back, like there's some type of emergency, you would need the passport. So they said, like, you don't need it to go, and if all goes well, you don't need it to return. But if you have to return via plane, you would need your passport. So I say, advice would be take your passport.
Take your passport. All that to say.
Take your passport. Yes.
But you guys, that's just our 2 cents.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think and what your experience on cruises have been. We would love to hear it. And if you haven't checked out our first cruise experience, again, the links are there and in the comments. So
yes.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
We had a great time.
Yes.
You guys. All right.
All right.
Thanks for watching.